Hello guys, this is Jan from Kroscloud, and let's take a look at points of interest in this tutorial. Points of interest is one of the key features of Kroscloud and lets you build unique 3D scenes by providing contextual information, combination of 3D and panoramic scenes and video clips. Let me show you. Take a look at this 3D scene with a public viewer. Kroscloud knows 3 types of points of interest. Basic one are the info points. Info point contains contextual information and in this case also attached camera. So if user displays the point, the view is automatically set to the attached camera position. And when we scroll through the points, camera is automatically targeting to the given point. So user can focus on the information and doesn't have to worry about controlling the viewer. The second type is panoramic point with a reference to a panoramic scene. And last but not least, video point with a link to YouTube video. Each point type can also have an anchor point, as you can see here for example. You focus attention on the given place. Anchor point for panoramic points also focus the transition animation to the anchor point instead of the point itself, which is very handy for buildings, for example. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's go to the editor and create some points of interest by ourselves. To add new point, you need to open the points of interest menu and double click on the model where you want to add the point approximately. Keep in mind you need to double click directly on its surface. If you are adding point to a panoramic scene, you can double click whenever you want. Let's create an info point at first. For info point, you need to fill in title. Description is not mandatory. But let's add just lorem ipsum text here. Here you can change the point's icon type and its size. Let's go with number and medium-sized icon. Okay, let's save it. And we have our first point of interest. Let's create the second one, let's say here, with no description this time. Again, number and medium size. Okay, and it's there. Let's rearrange them, so turn on the rearrange mode and move them up a little bit. Okay. And for this one, let's create an anchor point pointing to the jacuzzi. So let's open the points menu, add anchor point, and double click on the jacuzzi. Okay. As the last step with the info points, let's attach default cameras to them. It's simple. Let's adjust our view to something like this for the first one, and let's click on set a camera, and it's done. And for the second one, let's pick something like this, and again set a camera, and that's it. Now when user click on these info points, camera will be set to these views. You can check them again by clicking on look through a camera. Okay, info points are there, so now is the right time to add some panoramic points. Let's add one here. Choose panoramic. Panoramic points are basically a reference to your panoramic scenes. So you can choose to use one of your existing pano scene, or you can easily upload and create a new one by dropping a pano image here. Let's create the first one by selecting existing panoramic scene. Let's keep this eye icon, but let's make the icon extra large. And create. And let's create another panoramic point at the building. But this time, let's upload a new pano image. Okay, as we are creating a new panoramic scene, we need to fill in the title. We keep the eye icon and let's go with extra large again. Okay, and create. Let's adjust the panel points positions now. So move them like this, for example. Okay, I think it's good. Maybe this one a little bit here. Okay, let's turn this off. For the second panel point, let's add an anchor point. And let's put it inside of the building. To move anchor point, you need to turn on the rearrange mode in the same way as for the points itself. So let's move it like this. Yeah, I think it looks good. Maybe a little bit here. Okay, that's it. So we added 2 panoramic points to our 3D scene. But what if we want to connect one panorama to another to create something like 360 VR tour? So users can go from one panel to another without a need to return to the 3D scene. It's easy. As you can see when you click on the points menu button, for panel points there is an option to open the referenced panoramic scene in a separate editor. Let's do that. We have new editor window now with our panoramic scene. As you can see, you can adjust it in the same way as the 3D scene. To create VR tour, we will just create new panoramic points of interest here. So let's add new panoramic point here. Let's click on points of interest, double click on the door. Let's create a new panoramic scene. Let's pick an arrow icon and let's make it extra large again. Okay, create. And it's there. We won't add more points here. The workflow is very same as with the 3D scene. So let's jump back and let's create a last point type, video. For video point, we need to write down title and provide YouTube video ID. In icon settings, for video, you can just set the icon size. So let's go with large. As you can see, there is a warning message. For video point, keep in mind that to open an iframe on top of the 3D viewer, browser needs to allocate much more memory. On low power devices such as older mobile phones, this could lead to memory problems. So it's a good idea to use texture compression or lower your texture resolution. Okay, and create. As a final touch, let's move the last point to some better place, like here. And that's it. All points are there. So let's open public viewer and check how all the stuff we added looks and works for our visitors. This is our final result in a public viewer. Let's click on info point. As we attach default cameras to the info point, as we click on them or scroll between them using the next or previous button, view is automatically set to the attached cameras. Let's jump to panels. The first one. And the second one. The second panel has an anchor point attached, as you can see here. So if we click on it, you can notice that the animation is targeted to the anchor point and not at the point itself, how it was with the previous one without an anchor point. In this panoramic scene, you can see there is also a panel point. If we click on it, we move to another panoramic scene without the need to leave to our 3D scene. Actually, this panoramic scene doesn't even have reference from our 3D scene. This way you can create VR tours with many panoramic scenes without the need to have them all referenced by the core 3D scene. And last but not least, there is a video point. Yeah, I like bridge glass. Okay, that's it. If you have any question, write down a comment or shoot us a message through our contact page at Kroscloud.com. Thanks a lot and stay tuned.